same problem for everyone to keep it fair. So
Oh, there were more people who.
you weren't the only one that had some
Oh,
recording
really?
trouble, so
Oh.
no worries.
Oh, too bad. All right. So, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Yes, I'm good.
Good.
I'm good. I'm good. I mean, you don't mind if I record? Obviously?
Not at all. No, please
Okay.
do.
Would you mind if I take notes?
Absolutely, sure.
All right. So, we'll have about 15 minutes.
Perfect.
Just to discuss.
Perfect.
Things. So, how's everything?
It's good. I'm having a bit of trouble with one of my managers recently, though.
Okay.
They've shifted a lot of responsibilities over to me that aren't quite in my realm of being able to tackle.
Yes.
And I'm just not quite sure how to go about dealing with it.
Okay, so what kind of responsibility are we talking about here?
So there's a lot of, in terms of, finalizing grades and some, student conversations and doing a lot of the behind the scenes sort of work, and just a lot of sort of administrative decisions that I'm not super comfortable making myself.
Okay.
But based on, some of the managers having quite a full plate, trying to step in as much as possible, but it's sort of, they're starting to push a little bit too much onto me.
Okay.
And then I don't quite have enough time to be able to tackle everything, so.
Okay. So what would you like this session to achieve then in that case?
I would love to be able to talk through kind of how to go about having that conversation with a manager of saying that, I think my time is, I'm starting to get burnt out. I think my time is really cut short with everything that is being tasked to me.
Okay, so you like your time to be cut short?
No, that with the amount of different things that I'm balancing, I don't quite have enough time to do a good job on everything.
Okay.
So I'm just, hoping to kind of talk through how to go about having that conversation, even that, I might have a bit too much that's on my plate.
So you're thinking about how you're gonna go about that conversation, that you have too much in your plate and you don't know exactly how to go about it.
I haven't said anything yet, but it's starting to get to the point where I don't have enough time to do everything.
Exactly.
And I haven't brought it up, but I think that's what I should do. So
what would be a goal for you? Like, this is Monday. Let's say by Friday. What would be a goal for you?
I think a good goal would be to have to at least get a conversation scheduled with my manager about balancing time and sort of what responsibilities they should do, what responsibilities I should do, and at least having that initial conversation by the end of the week, I think.
Having that initial conversation, scheduling time. So what has missed that made you not do it up to this point, for example?
It's really the amount of time that I've see, that's the thing, is I've felt like I haven't had the time to be able to sit down and talk through it. But I think it's just a matter of actually getting that scheduled. And then it's already blocked out. So I haven't yet. I've also, I enjoy taking on a bunch of things. So I haven't wanted to stop that per se. And so I've been hesitant to even bring it up. But I think it's getting to a point where something has to be said. So
exactly. So you kind of if you kind of have a dilemma here. You love the work. You love taking on responsibilities, but at the same time, you are you worry that it might overwhelm you. That you might not do what exactly it's supposed to be done.
Exactly.
If I'm correct, okay?
Exactly.
All right. So how do you balance that for you? Like, how can you balance that? How can you find the middle
Well, I mean, as of now, it's been putting in a lot more hours work-wise than I probably should be just to keep up with the amount.
Yes.
I don't think that's sustainable since I'll just burn myself out probably very quickly.
Yeah.
And so it's been a fine line between the amount of things I can get done in one day,
yes,
knowing that, all right, I didn't get to this, so I'll have to get to this the next day.
Yeah.
And it just kind of keeps pushing. So I've been just slowly tackling everything, but never quite caught up on things. So it's been working, but probably not to the best of my abilities.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand that. So it's not really working as you like it to
100%.
work on. Like, okay, as I said before, today is Monday. How does your week looks like?
This week is actually a little less busy. Classes are over, so there's not as many things going on. But responsibility-wise, there's a lot that I have to kind of get done for myself this week.
Okay.
And so I'm already anticipating that if my manager or other managers start giving me more and more, I'm not going to have the time I need to be able to get my own things done this week.
I see.
So that's why this week it feels like a good opportunity to kind of sit down and have a conversation because I think time-wise it allots for it.
Yeah.
But it needs to almost happen because I have to make sure that I get everything done this week that I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
So I think it's coming at a good time, maybe later on in the week, to kind of sit down and have a conversation.
All right. So you feel like this week will be a week that is like fairly open.
I think so. I think so.
Have that conversation, but
I think so.
If this week wasn't as you think it might end up to becoming, what would be some of your options? What could be some of the options you have to tackle this goal of making sure to tell the manager that
I think if I couldn't block out time to speak to a manager, I think what I could do is maybe speak to someone who's also kind of been in my position, whether it's a fellow program coordinator or someone else that sort of works behind the scenes.
Okay.
See if they've gone through a similar situation maybe, and if they didn't have the time to connect with their manager, how did they go about it? I haven't really gotten any perspectives because I've been so busy trying to keep up with everything. Yeah. So if there isn't enough time where my manager and I could sit down, I mean, maybe I could then sort of turn to someone else, get their kind of feedback over how they've handled the situation before, if they've gone through it. If not, I mean, towards the end of the week, if it starts to get a little busy, I think maybe then if I schedule it for Monday, knowing that you come back from the weekend and just start Monday morning sort of with that and block out time. Yeah. But then it's almost kind of like just carrying it on and on. So I think it's a matter of making time almost. Okay. Even if there doesn't seem like there is enough time.
Exactly. Have you ever encountered this kind of thing before? Like having too much that you can't really.
I've always taken on a whole bunch.
Yes.
I've always been able to keep up with it. And I've never taken on something that I can't do a good job on. But I think this is really starting to get to the first time where there's so much now that I've taken on that I don't know if, I'm just afraid that something's going to slip. Yeah. And I'm not really that type of person who lets things fall through the cracks. So it makes me more nervous than anything to have to be able to deliver on everything. Without kind of just starting to say no to everybody, and then all of a sudden I have nothing to do. So it's constantly fighting that battle too. But
you mentioned something. You mentioned getting nervous. Like in the past, how have you tackled the nerve of having deadlines and a lot of work to achieve?
I write a lot of to-do lists for myself,
Okay.
and I kind of use my own time management to really set priorities, and really sort of outline ahead of time, this is going to take me, this long, or this is very, very important, so I need to, move this to the top of the list, make sure that this is... I always kind of keep good track of what has to be done, so it keeps my mind in order.
Yeah.
It's gotten to the point almost where I can't even keep up with the lists anymore, though, because there's constantly something coming. So I don't know if maybe that's what's starting to make me a little frazzled almost. Is that because I can't, maybe I just need to go back to my lists. And I've lost that a little bit, so.
Yeah.
But that's usually what helps kind of keep the stress under control, is checking things right off.
Yeah, so that's a good point. You mentioned that you have a checklist, something that you follow. Could that be an option?
It could. It definitely
Checking
could.
that out, see how it goes first before sitting down with the manager.
It could, and I think it's a matter of blocking out time to even do that too, to kind of just sit by myself, gather what needs to be done, instead of just constantly going, and not having just a second to really look ahead and see, okay, this is really everything that I have to do. I finally have written down.
Okay.
That I could certainly try that before even having a conversation with someone about it.
Okay.
And just see if I can really sort it all out onto a piece of paper of everything that has to be done.
Yeah. Looking into your way forward, for example, like how do you think in this week you can make that time to do those options, like talking to your manager or even sitting down and trying to create that list?
Yeah, I think I have to block out time on my calendar, because it's always sort of a wishful thinking that, at the end of the day, I'll have time to kind of just sit there and think about what I have to do tomorrow. That time never really ever happens, so I think if I put it on my calendar, or if I put it on my manager's calendar, that it'll be more set in stone. The time is set aside. No one will be able to schedule things at that same time. And then I'll just have some real time to sit down and be able to really think through it. I haven't put it on my calendar, so I think that's why day after day it just kind of goes by.
Yeah, but that's still kind of a wishful thinking. How do you go about making it a reality?
I have to just do it. I mean, I think I have to just go back to my computer and really just set it into the calendar, and kind of stop talking about it really, and just set it in there, and then I won't have to worry about, I have to block out time sometime. I have to, and I've already done it. It's already in there. And that's like a concrete thing. I could go back to my computer and do that in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So that would probably be a good first step, at least, just to get that squared away.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Do you think anything you've learned anything from this conversation?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's tough to be able to stop and really think through what you have to do to get everything in order. Sometimes it's almost like the little Energizer bunny where you're just going.
Yes.
And so this has been very, very helpful to just kind of think, all right, maybe I do just need to really, really block out some time to just get my list in order. If there's 3 full pages of things that I write down, that can certainly help a conversation if I block out time with my manager too, that at least I'm not just guessing going in there. I really have things written down and documentation.
Okay.
So this has been very, very helpful to be able to think through that.
Good. That has been helpful. Would you mind giving me any feedback, any positive feedback?
Of course, yeah. So I mean, I think you're a very good listener, and you don't interrupt. You don't sort of speak. You just kind of let me get my thoughts out there, and really help sort of frame my own way of thinking without sort of, prompting your thoughts too much in there as well. That conversation-wise, you have a really good flow too, that we kind of started off talking about the overall goal and then really dwindled down to like concrete steps that I could take. So it conversation-wise leaves me feeling very motivated that I can kind of know exactly what I need to do. So I thank you for that. And you have really good eye contact too. I mean, just like conversation-wise too. Like I felt like you were paying attention the whole time. That you were actually, you were really listening and careful to hear what I was saying and connect the dots for me. So
we kind of go through the same process of having maybe too much and we don't know how to. So
exactly.
It's something that most of us can relate to.
No, I knew this could be a good helpful conversation.
Anything you think anything I can improve, for example?
I think I would say maybe, after sort of identifying, a problem and talking through some things, maybe giving some additional options or talking through maybe if plan A doesn't work and what could you do more for plan B or just some more variety of things maybe. But I think we started going through that, which was really good.
Okay.
So it's maybe talking through just a couple more if that doesn't work out. What else could you do?
Exactly.
And then that might spark another good thought in someone's mind. So but overall, I think it was a really, really helpful conversation.
Thank you very much.
Of course.